In the gallant days when history hung on the flight of an arrow or the slash of a sword, when feudal barons ravaged the countryside to live in pomp and splendor.
It is truly colorful, exciting, fascinating entertainment every minute of the way.
Moonsea Adventures.
Hello and welcome to the Moonsea Adventures. We are in Season 2, and the group in the last episode discovered the cave of the Mad Druid. And while waiting there, kind of taking a short rest, the hawk that they had seen in previous nights flew into the cave and perched itself kind of on the edge of the riser part of the cave, and then spoke. A voice emanated from this hawk, a voice not familiar to any of you, but the voice said, "Who are you and what do you want?" And that is where we're going to pick up. So you guys are in a cave. I don't remember if you said somebody had a torch. I think somebody, not all of you have dark vision, right?
Well,
No,
I'm using Murmur's eyes,
Okay.
as he's perched on my shoulder.
So I think Matt, maybe you had lit a torch or something.
If I did, it was after, because I think we opted to go dark.
Oh, okay. Well, then there isn't a torch. Let's say there is not, in fact. So this hawk is just expectantly looking at you after saying what it said.
Morris Ohm.
Who are you? And what do you want?
I am Ushun Blackheart. We come here seeking help and information.
The hawk is kind of looking at you as you say that. And then you notice that the hawk looks over at Harley.
And I'm staring at him. We are the survivors of Melvond. We were sent to assess the situation and plead for help. We need to get rid of this plague. It's not good for people, it's not good for animals, it's not good for land. And really, it's not good for anybody here. So we're seeking maybe answers and maybe some cooperation.
The hawk turns its eyes towards Angler. And you notice when he looks at Angler, his head kind of does like a tilt, like.
I can't see him, or else I'd tilt my head back.
He kind of hops forward a little bit, and then he looks at Syllar.
Hello, I'm Syllar. Are you Morse's own? Because we're looking for him. We were told he was in this cave.
Why should I help you? Why should I answer your questions?
Well, you don't have to, I guess, but we have made some discoveries, not us personally, but a group of people in Melvond. We have a cure for this affliction. We were given a map by Laszlo to come here. We have given him the recipe for the cure. We'd like to distribute and make more of this and maybe see what's happening elsewhere in the Moonsea area.
I do not care about cures. I do not care about Melvond. I do not care about helping you or the other land dwellers.
it's also affecting the Moonsea itself. We've seen it.
Not anymore.
Well,
Okay.
if you won't help us, just any other suggestion where we can find someone willing? I was told that maybe you would help us if you know who sent us.
Oh, sorry. I dig through my pack.
There we go. I was going to
Here.
patiently wait and be like, are they going to blow the entire story arc? What do you dig through your pack for, Ushun?
The scroll case with the letter from the Night Lady, and I put it down right in front of the bird.
The bird looks down at it. What is this?
How do we know we are talking with Mars on? Are you him?
Ooh, I'll snatch it back. This is a letter for Morsis.
From who?
She calls herself the Night Lady.
The bird looks down at the scroll case and then kind of does a little couple hops to turn around and then flies out of the cave.
Okay, that's that.
Well,
Was this one?
oh, the hawk went to get him.
Yeah, I was wondering if this hawk was like Murmur or that he was wild shaped.
Yeah, probably it was like a murmur. But
Well-
better.
Well, let's see what kind of accommodations we have here. I think I need to rest.
Well, like I said, you basically, in this elevated part of the cave where the tide doesn't come up and soak everything, it looks as if like the actual stone of the cave has been shaped over time to, be more habitable. There's, like I said, a sort of a niche that's with bedding on it. There's, kind of a kitchen area. There's that sort of natural spring that's feeding into a large kind of tub with fresh water. And you guys wait there. It's another 2 hours go by.
We essentially have a short rest.
Yep, short rest.
Yeah.
Right. Get some hit dice going.
And by this time, it's well after midnight. The tide is all the way into the cave at this point. It's not up where you guys are, but the tide comes all the way into the cave. So you hear the slow sound of the tide kind of hitting up into the cave, and sort of that sound, that whooshing sound, sort of reverberates as the waves kind of roll in and then bounce back off of the breaker wall inside of the cave.
Do we feel safe here?
Do you?
Not at all.
Well, the
reasonably.
water's down there. I'm up here. I think I'm going to take a nap.
Okay. So,
I will finally light a torch.
all right.
I'll just take I will take one hour of watch and the second hour of rest.
Okay.
If someone else would take another hour of watch.
So, kind of rotating through, I'll say that another hour goes by. So total like 3 hours. It's about 2 a.m. at this point. And you hear something kind of moving through the water from outside of the cave, kind of into the cave. And when it gets within your dark vision range, about 60 feet away, you see something swimming under the water, which is still, it's relatively shallow by the time it gets into the cave. So it's only like 5 feet deep. And you could see something swimming through under the water. And when it gets to about 30 feet away, you see the water something gets up from the water. Not in a splashing, sort of jumping out way, but just sort of a slow way where it like kind of stands up. And what you see looks like a man, but with kind of greenish blue skin, sort of pointed features, like slightly pointed ears. And he looks older, like in human age equivalent, maybe, late 40s, early 50s, and his hair is kind of like long, stringy gray hair. No facial hair. And his ears are pierced with what look like maybe bone jewelry. And he has like a necklace with bones and kind of seashells and stuff. And he basically just has like that and a spear and a loincloth. Like that's all he has. And he starts walking through the last few feet, the last 30 feet of these shallows towards you guys in the cave.
I will stand up, tidy myself, and say to the others, "Okay, wakey, wakey, we got a company."
Okay, I'll snatch up the scroll.
Or we are the company.
As you kind of do that, he doesn't seem fazed by you guys kind of rousing, and just continues to walk up through the shallows until he gets to the ledge. And you see he kind of climbs up onto the ledge at the same level where you guys are. And he's just standing there looking at you all.
I just bow slightly.
I do too.
You, and as you guys kind of do that, he just looks at you. He doesn't bow, he doesn't nod.
We have in our possession a message for Morsis It was entrusted to us to put it in his hand. Are you Morsis
He reaches out his left hand, his right hand kind of holding his spear. He reaches out his left hand.
I will reach out with the scroll case.
He looks at the case. You notice that he's kind of examining it. I mean, for a good minute, still saying nothing, not looking at you. And then he walks over kind of towards the kitchen side, and he leans his spear up against the rocky wall. He walks over towards that stone, what looked like kind of a stone dining room table, basically, that's just a platform of stone. And he sits down on one of the sort of like stone smooth stools. He sets the scroll case down on the table, and he snaps his finger, and light, like an orb of light, appears overhead. And then he twists the wax-sealed cap off of the scroll case and looks inside, and then sort of reaches inside and pulls out this scroll. You see he opens up the scroll, which is also sealed, and he begins kind of reading the scroll. What are you guys doing while he's doing all of this?
I'm just standing there, non-threateningly, but
just watching.
Yeah, to have him in my field of vision.
Yeah, just standing there at ease, hands resting softly on my sword hilts.
I'm just by Syllar. Pretty much the same.
He seems to read the scroll very deliberately, and then he rolls it up very quickly. He looks out at you guys. And I need you guys all to make dex saves.
Net 20. It works having your dice lying all week on the...
Is a save
Top
different
number.
from a check? Yes, it is. Okay.
9.
17.
16.
Harley, I need you to make one more roll. Just tell me what the straight number of the roll is.
10.
Okay. So, who got over a 16?
Me.
16 or higher.
Net
Exactly
20 for 25.
Okay, so here's what happens. You guys seem fine, like nothing happens to you. But you see that Harley is outlined in a green glow, and additionally, Murmur is outlined in a green glow. The Triton looks at them, and just looks around the cave, even above. And then he puts the scroll back in the scroll case. And he sits back sort of in the stool and just looks at you all. Did she say why she sent you with this? And you recognize the voice when he finally speaks. It's the same voice that you heard coming out of the hawk.
Well, maybe because we are expendable for her.
No.
And because-
No. She trusts us.
well, she care about people of Melvond, but we know her but shortly. She want to help people of this area.
You know what? Go ahead and make a persuasion check, Harley.
Ooh, I'm good at this one. 22.
You see, as you're kind of explaining this, that the Triton his expression seems very skeptical, but as you're sort of explaining this, he kind of glances down at the scroll and then glances back up at you. He says, "You are servants of the Night Lady?"
Well, maybe we shall say necessary acquaintances.
We're retainers.
Trusted acquaintances.
The four of us are mercenaries. Sell swords.
Entrepreneurs.
He said, "You traveled through the Moonwatch Hills. You met Laszlo."
Yes, and his company. I have to admit I made fun of them, but not too much.
And I guess you have seen us walking through the hills. I think we recognize the...
Or your bird did.
Yeah, it's the hawks.
You saw the trees.
Yeah,
Yes.
It was pretty scary.
Yeah, and impressive.
Oh, say why.
well, Laszlo said that it's the frontier of defense, like the first line of
line.
defense because of the danger that lies in Tar.
Did Laszlo tell you what evil is festering in the Thar?
Well, not exactly. He said that there is some great evil, but that evil might be connected to the Zentarum.
The Triton nods.
We know of the ships that carried infected animals.
He looks down at the scroll case again, and he says, "How do I know that you are not Zentarum spies? That this is not a forgery?"
Well, it's hard to say in these times, but we are not. And despite the fact that we killed some Zentarum abomination in the Moonwatch Hills, and we carry some paraphernalia, let's say, we may prove that we are sent by the Night Lady.
His eyes kind of narrow.
Well, to be honest, Zentarum killed everyone I know back where I came from, so I'm hunting them, kind of.
He says, "Prove that she sent you."
Well...
How we do that? We got your scroll.
This scroll could have been fabricated by the Zentarum.
Well, I have two possible proofs. I can show you, and I can tell you something only the Night Lady and maybe some of her people might know. If you are willing.
Proceed.
Well, if I may, I turn to my companions and, well, please turn away and plug your ears.
All right.
Well, I know her name.
You see his eyebrows raise when you say that.
She told me, and I may show you her visage, let's say.
He nods.
So I change my appearance to the appearance of a Night Lady, and I whisper him her name.
When you say her name, the true name that you were told, you see that he pauses.
And I change back.
Almost like he's absorbing what you said. As if he was concentrating on it. And then he nods.
Okay, guys, it's okay. You can listen.
What?
He says,
So what happened?
"I am not a friend, acquaintance, or ally of your Night Lady.
Well,
But
the enemy of our enemy is sometimes our friend.
But what she asks in this missive is for an alliance against our mutual enemies.
That's great. We can work on that. We can build on that.
The enemy has already taken Flan.
Well, that's not good.
They will move to Melvont and then Fentia.
Well, I like Melvont. Not like home, but at least it's something.
Well, there's something left, but
Yeah.
Actually, there's quite a lot left. The Night Lady's people took us in, and we helped them develop the cure. A very talented apothecary came up with it, and we've been brewing it. We have examples of the brew here, and there is a good garrison there, and people left. We don't know exactly the shape of the town, but most of the working people and nobles and constables, I believe, are gone. The animals. It was terrible. It was a black summer.
I do not care for the people of Melvont. I have said this.
I know.
I agree to this alliance. It is for the protection of the Moonwatch and to defeat the enemy, not to assist the Night Lady in her quest for more power. And he turns to look at you, Harley, when he says that quest for more power part.
Well, whatever suits you. But we can at least work together for a while to get rid of those who are oppressing these lands.
We would greatly value a powerful ally such as yourself.
If it's true what I've heard from Laszlo and what I've asserted from the deserted camp we found in the Moonwatch Hills, we're standing against the warlocks of Zentarum, and maybe their allies from the hordes of, I dare not to say that word, from the hordes of Shadar Kai. If we're
You see him shake his head.
If we're really standing against this, what can we do?
You do not stand against the hordes of the Shadar Kai. You stand against the Zentarum. And she would have my alliance, which suits her needs as well. She does not want the dragon to come. She does not want his armies to take Melvont.
Yeah, who would like that?
By helping us, you would also help yourself. After this is done, you would be able to return here to a place that you love, your home. I can't go home. I have no home.
Me neither. What a poetic bunch we are.
Says, I will contemplate this and return at dawn. And he turns, walks over to his spear. He leaves the scroll and the scroll case on the table, grabs his spear, jumps down off the ledge into the water, and begins walking out into the water.
Well,
Okay, guys, we should sleep. At least till dawn. And, well, I think it's no use to read that scroll because Night Lady might have used a spell that even I know that changes the text depending on the reader. Well, we should take a rest.
I'll walk over to the table, roll up the scroll, and put it back in the case and stopper it.
Okay.
I'm not even going to try to read it,
Okay.
although I really want to.
I just roll off my bedroll and my...
did he leave the light on?
The light fades after, I don't know, about 5 minutes.
All right.
But like I mentioned, there are kind of rock sconces, like holes in the cave wall where torches could be put.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I'm with Harley. Let's take a rest.
Okay.
Sconce my torch. And then get
You basically continue by doing a long rest.
Is there any paper, ink, and quill around?
No.
Okay.
Nope. Your long rest goes fine. You could see dawn. You know, the light kind of in the distance at the cave opening. And you know, the tide has retreated back out further. And you guys complete your long rest. Anybody do anything specific, or are you guys just gonna wait there?
Yeah, let's make breakfast.
Okay, you have rations?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
you
I
no
joined
idea.
Syllar.
okay. You guys have some rations. Just waiting there.
Sharpening my halberd, and maintaining my armor, stuff like that.
Okay. Several hours later, definitely well past dawn, you see him kind of walking into the cave.
As he's walking into the cave, I just look at my companions and, you know, I'd rather not die. Not here, not anywhere else in this land. Let's be careful, boys and girl.
He arrives again, kind of pulls himself up onto the ledge and looks at all of you. He says, I have a response for your Night Lady.
And we will deliver. Whatever it is.
We do not have the numbers to guard the border with the Thar and conduct an invasion against Flan. Tell your Night Lady that she will need to choose who and how many of you and her other servants to either venture into the Thar to find the enemy in his stronghold, or to invade Flan. Whichever she chooses, I and the Moonwatch will do the other. If she chooses to send you and your minions to Flan, then we will go into the Thar. If she chooses to send you and her minions to the Thar, then we will invade the Flan. He says, and then he looks at Harley and he says, send your minion to deliver this message to her.
It shall be done.
I will return at dusk. And he turns and again walks out into the water. And this time you see when he walks out into the water, he just keeps walking until he's underwater.
Okay, Murmur. Just go to the Melvaunt and find the Night Lady. If you're not sure where to look, just tell me and I will guide your path.
Murmur flies off.
As he's leaving, I just telepathically tell him, and be careful, friend.
Who's this we? He said we.
Yep.
Well, probably the watchman he has in the Moon Hills. What was it?
Well, I'm not sure about that. Do you remember what we were told about 4 months ago? That the Druid destroyed the Tower of Thentia by the water elemental.
Mm-hmm.
So, he has vastly greater power than all of us combined.
Yeah.
You think he went to his people?
Well, it's possible. Maybe he will gather all the underwater nations and
I've
we'll
never
go there.
I've never seen anything like him.
Yeah. Me neither.
Let's see if maybe you would have heard of something like him. I'll say, go ahead and make a history check.
All of us?
Sure.
I'm really not from the Forgotten Realms. I have 2,
I got 2.
9.
and it's net 1.
15.
Syllar got a 9,
Yeah.
and Ushun got a 15. Okay, well, Ushun, you're fairly certain that he's not an aquatic elf. But you have heard of rumors of people who are known as Tritons. Capable of breathing air and water, who are oftentimes tied to the seas, who have innate connections and powers with the element of water and with creatures therein. Now I will have Harley make a Arcana check.
Oh, that's not better. 9?
So I'm not going to give you a direct answer because you didn't really get that high enough of a roll. I'll say this, that there's something bothering you about how his magic worked with that hawk. Does anyone else have proficiency in Arcana?
You know, guys, if the druid is commanding the waters and the water creatures, how did he do that with the hawk? I wonder. It's just magical.
Well, as a druid, he probably has more than just aquatics as power to have control over.
Well, I've never met someone like him, so I don't know. But it's strange. You know, something to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Besides, we're stuck here.
Well, I tell you, this stonework is interesting. I mean, this wasn't stone that was brought in at all.
Yeah.
Looks like it was molded right from materials around here.
I was wondering, and I've heard about people that can mold the stone or other materials like clay, but I've never seen it by myself.
Syllar, what spells do you have access to?
Absorb elements, beast bond, cure wounds, and hunter's mark.
Okay, go ahead and make an Arcana check.
Got 20 again.
Well, you're familiar with beast bond. You understand that it allows the caster to make a telepathic link with an animal, and it allows you to communicate telepathically with that animal.
Mm-hmm.
You also know that there's a spell of Find Familiar, which can be construed as similar, but is maybe a little different insofar as you could communicate telepathically, and you could also see through the familiar's eyes and hear what it hears.
Yeah, like
so you know those two spells. However, you're not sure what magic allowed him to speak with his own voice through the hawk.
Mm-hmm.
But you're pretty sure it's not beast bond or find familiar or animal friendship. In fact, it reminds you of something else that you've actually seen and heard. And you're thinking about that, and you're looking at Harley.
Mm-hmm.
Well, do you think what I think you think?
Probably.
Oh crap! Oh crap! That may be no druid at all.
What?
Well, I am the servant of the Raven Queen, and he may serve the god of the Moonsea.
Well,
to have similar powers as I have in this particular thing, I think there's not a lot of options left. Well, I wonder what this deity is, or spirit, or other.
Well,
there are other possibilities.
Well, I think you should commune with that patron or god or spirit or whatever you got to see if you can get some explanation. I don't know what to do.
Well, I may try that, but it's not easy, you know. deities, sometimes they listen, sometimes not. And in particular, the Raven Queen, she's the deity of the whole another plane. I'm not sure she will respond so very often. It worked when I meditated in the Melvond when we before we left, but I may try that. We will see, but I need some place private and dark.
Yeah. Hey, Bill, has the tide receded?
Yeah, I mean, it's hours go by. So
Okay.
you basically have the entire day. Just tell me what you want to do.
I'm going to go down on the seashore and look for shells, interesting rocks. I don't know.
Many.
Yeah.
Yeah, the beach is kind of a sandy, rocky coastal beach. What you don't see are any boats, fishing boats, ships within your eyesight. You don't see any people along the shore. You see a few like seagulls. You know, you see some fish as you're like wading out in the shallows.
Okay. Well,
That's what I'm doing.
In the meantime, I strip myself of my possessions, my bags, my weapons, fancy clothes, and I give those to Syllar. Do not take offense, little birdie, but I trust you with my life, not with my things. I gave them to the Syllar and well, I'll try to commune with the Raven Queen. It might take a while, but take those things and go somewhere else. I have to be alone.
Okay. Well,
And as they leave, I just kneel. I humbly present myself to the darkness of the cave. I put my hands on my chest in the symbol of the raven wings. And maybe for minutes, maybe for hours, I try to reach the Raven Queen just to assess the situation with the so-called druid.
Okay. Make a percentile roll.
Okay. 22.
At some point, maybe an hour into your kind of meditative trance, you feel like you don't hear the sound of the waves outside of the cave. Your mind almost becomes completely silent. And with your eyes closed in just this dim cave light, you start to kind of in your mind's eye see a darkness, like a form in absolute darkness that's blacker than the darkness that you have with your eyes closed. And you hear a voice again in your mind. What do you seek, servant?
My queen. I found what means the previous vision that you showed me. And now I have questions again.
Ask
We've met.
questions, but know that there will be a price.
Yes. Yes, my queen. We've met potential ally. Powerful ally. And we have deduced that he's maybe a servant of some local god or powerful spirit. And we need to know if that's something we should be afraid of. If that's something that may help us. And if that's something that won't kill us. I'm prepared to pay the price, my queen.
You speak of his pact.
Yes.
He serves the Waif Mother.
Is she a spirit or deity, my queen?
She is. Goddess. Chaotic as the sea itself. Cruel and vain.
Should we be afraid, my queen?
Perhaps.
Then we will tread carefully.
That would be wise.
I have a few leads to the power of the Zentarum, those with the falling dragon, and I will make you proud, my queen, as I'll vanquish them or die trying.
The Zentarum do not serve me. Keep
I know.
this clear in your mind.
Yes,
We
my queen.
serve the gods of murder and death.
I'm sorry, my queen.
You know the true name of my other servant. She serves me truly. With her, you shall be loyal.
I won't betray her trust, my queen.
Remember, there will be a price for these answers to your questions. And then you feel something running down your nose, like down your lips. Like, feels like somebody like flicked water at you and like water's running down your lips and your chin. you open your eyes and kind of instinctively like brush it off, and you look down and it's blood. Anybody who wasn't Ushun and out playing with the seashells might have noticed this as well, that like Harley just was in his trance and all of a sudden like his nose started to bleed.
As it happened, I just bow my gaze and say to the darkness, "Thank you, my queen."
All right. So that's a few hours of your day of waiting. You kind of check in with your servant Murmur, who is flying as fast as he can towards Melvaunt. What about Angler and Syllar? What are you guys doing during this day?
I want to ask Syllar if he wants to spar.
Okay.
Well, as Wood Elf, I'm not happy being cooped up in this cave, so I want to spend some time outside.
Okay.
And we can spar outside.
You guys walk out. You see Ushun kind of
Still within sight of the water edge, so that if he comes back, we might notice him coming back.
Okay.
I have fishing tackle, so I'm going to be fishing after a while.
All right. Sure. So Syllar and Angler, you guys kind of walk out onto the beach. It's a nice day, cool breeze coming in off of the Moonsea. You occasionally, hear some seagulls, see some seagulls flying around, and Ushun, you see kind of pulling out some fishing gear. Make a survival check for me, Ushun.
Ooh, that's a 19.
Okay. You, over the course of a couple hours, you catch like 6 fish. You guys, Syllar and Angler, you kind of go for a walk, sort of keeping the cave entrance within sight, do a little sparring. Anything else you wanted to do, or?
Well, if as we go around sparring, when I see Ushun fishing, I'm like, and walk over and like, you think it's smart going for fish if the Druid Warlock dude is friends with aquatic creatures?
I mean, they're eaten by other fish. He probably eats fish.
I don't know. Just wondering.
This would be a nice dinner for us tonight.
It would.
Plenty here. Wish I could find some vegetables.
Well, Harley's stuff is unattended. I'm gonna go rifle through it.
Say that again.
I said while Syllar's not attending Harley's stuff, I'm gonna go rifle through it.
Okay.
Go through Harley's stuff.
All right. You do.
Just take a random thing. He won't notice.
Okay. Yeah, he seems pretty deep in his trance. All right, so you guys kind of, stay in the immediate area, do some stuff. Hours go by. It's pretty peaceful. At some point, Harley comes out of his trance. Ushun, you bring your catch into the cave and, get the little fireplace going, and you kind of roast the fish over the fire, and you guys have some fish and some rations, and you could tell that the sun is fading because it's getting darker and the tide is kind of starting to come in. And after your dinner, you're kind of in the cave. It's dark, so I don't know if you want to light a torch or not, but Harley, you receive a telepathic message from Murmur saying that he has arrived at Melvaunt. And you see he's circling overhead of the inn, which is the base of operations. And you see that rooftop sort of penthouse suite that the Night Lady resides in. And there are a few guards with like crossbows and longbows that are kind of set up in different spots, but it seems like Melvont's pretty quiet. And Murmur flies down towards the penthouse and kind of goes in, and you see, or through his vision, you see the Night Lady sitting at a table with some candles, and she seems to be eating dinner, and Rakul is there with her. And they are both speaking in a language which you don't understand. So Murmur is there.
Like in the room, or
Yeah.
Okay. I just make Murmur visible and knock some wood just to
So
make an entrance.
he, like, Rakul looks over and he doesn't even say anything. He just kind of like looks over at Murmur and then looks at the Night Lady, and she sort of finishes chewing her food and sets her utensils down, and she says, "What news do you bring? Have you found the druid?"
I let Murmur bow and speak through his voice.
My lady, we found the druid, but things may not be as they seem to be. He may be druid, but he's also the servant of the deity, the goddess of the sea, the Waif Mother.
You see she nods, like not surprised at all. And she says, "What of the missive? Did he accept my terms?"
Things are a little bit complicated. He said that we don't have numbers to invade the Flan and also
The Thar.
sweep the enemies in Thar. But we may do one or another, and his people will do the opposite or the other thing.
She
If
nods, and
if it's
you can
acceptable.
tell- you see that she nods, and she turns to look at Rakul. And Rakul leans forward and is whispering to her again in this other language. And she listens to what he's saying, and then she nods.
If I may, my lady,
Yes.
I've spoke with the Raven Queen, and she told me that you are her servant as I am, and if it means anything, please let me speak my mind freely. I think that we'd better send our forces to the Thar, because the druid and his people are bound to the sea. They may have better chance at besieging the Flan.
You see, she kind of looks at Rakul, and he nods. And she says, "We can agree to these terms. If the druid takes Flan that will stop their forces from coming to Melvaunt, at least for a time. But you will need to go into the Thar and find the enemy's stronghold. We will send a coalition of our soldiers towards the Moonwatch Hills. And from there, they will wait until you contact them and tell them where to go in the Thar.
Yes, my lady.
She says, this servant who you have sent to me will need to be most useful in order to make this work. But
I thought so much.
You and the others will need to go into the Thar and first find where the enemy's stronghold is. And once discovered, send your minion to our men in the Moonwatch Hills. They will then have to, based on your information and what you provide, they will have to venture into the Thar to meet you. And then together, you, your group, and our men will need to infiltrate the stronghold of the enemy.
I have no objection to this plan, but if I may, please let your soldiers stay at the westmost part of the Moonwatch Hills. The druid is somewhat protective of these highlands, and if the Waif Mother is such a chaotic goddess as the Raven Queen told me, we don't want to provoke them. And yes, we'll do as you said. We will go to the Thar and we will find out where the stronghold is. Our enemies may be of Zentarum. We found some abandoned camp here in the Moonwatch Hills, and we've encountered an undead abomination with the swords that held the insignia of Zentarum. Those may be very dangerous foes.
She says, yes, the Zentarum are certainly in league with the enemy to the north. But the stronghold that you seek is not theirs.
How is that so? Is there any other force in motion that's maybe connected to them, but not working directly with them?
Yes.
That's most disturbing.
He is a power rising.
We will find out more.
Beware, servant. He is not likely to be bargained with. And if you are discovered near his stronghold,
I will die.
You will defend it.
Yes.
You face no ordinary man. You face the black dragon Cherna. It is his minions who invaded and took over Flan. And the Zentarum provided reinforcements to secure Flan. It is their intent to use Flan as a launching point to invade other coastal cities, including Melvont and Fentia, all of which have been weakened by the plague which the Zentarum themselves are responsible for. Make no mistake, the Black Dragon is clever.
Duly noted.
He will not be fooled. Tell your companions of this plan, and tell the Druid that I agree to these terms, that we will march to the Thar if he vows to take Flan.
I will tell them.
And she looks at Rakul and she's like, ready the men. And he nods and bows and stands up and kind of walks out. I'm assuming you summon Murmur back.
Well, as he's leaving, I let him do the sign. All hail the Raven Queen.
She nods.
Doesn't she give him a treat?
No. And he's away.
Okay, so about 10 o'clock at night, the tide has moved into the cave, and once again you hear the sound of sloshing water, and you see the Druid appear and walk up out of the water and towards the ledge, pulls himself up, and he kind of has that expressionless look again as he looks out at all of you. Did you light a torch?
Yes.
Okay. So he just kind of climbs up and looks out at all of you. And then he says, "So, have you received response from the Night Lady?"
Yes, we have.
And?
We will march towards the Thar, as your people will march towards the Flan. If it's to your liking.
He says, "Yes. I will tell Laszlo that you are returning to the Moonwatch and not to attack the forces from Melvont. Then I will begin rallying for our assault on Flan." He says, "You should make haste and travel as soon as you can.
We will
Do
go.
not rest here in the cave."
We will go immediately.
Wait a second. We understand that the power in the Citadel is a rising power. That's a black dragon? How do we fight a black dragon?
He nods and he says, "Yes, it is called Cherna." I did not believe that he had returned. But I have allies and servants who provided me with proof of Cherna's growing presence in the Thar. I do not know where his stronghold is, only that it is to the north. but the Thar is vast. You will know that you have found his stronghold when you begin to sense his presence infecting the land.
Do you know if he's a youngling or an adult, or maybe even an ancient?
He is an adult.
Oof. That's gonna be tough.
We won't be alone.
Yeah.
He says,
What kind of presence?
he says, the dragon's nest begins to take on more magical environmental factors. You will know by the signs that you are nearing it. Sometimes the plants themselves become more twisted, dangerous. Sometimes there is darkness or fogs or poisonous gases. Sometimes there are swarms of insects. These are all signs that you could be getting closer to the stronghold of Cherna.
Well, we will take that in consideration. And as I said, we will embark immediately.
As will we. And he turns and he kind of looks at each one of you. And then he does one more nod, steps down off the ledge into the water, and begins once again walking out into the sea.
As he's leaving, I put my hand on my shoulder and glory to the Waif Mother.
He turns over his shoulder and looks at you, but he doesn't nod. And then he turns back and begins walking again into the sea.
Okay, we're still alive. And we should go.
Guess we're packing our bags again and
Yeah.
go for a nice stroll in the moonlight.
What's the state of the tide? I don't want to start leaving with the tide rushing in.
It's only at its deepest, it would be like 5 feet deep, and you would just have to exit the cave and kind of swim and walk around back up onto the shore.
Okay, so it isn't a riptide or anything. Okay.
So you guys gather your stuff.
Where is the half of my stuff?
Your stuff is right over here.
Angler!
I'm just gonna point at Syllar.
Wasn't me.
I see my pipe, my mahogany pipe, in your backpack. Okay, give it to me. Give it to me now.
I'll just handle this stuff.
And let's go. We shouldn't rest here, as he told us. I presume that if the forces embarking right now, it will take them about a day to reach the Moonwatch. So we should wait till morning in the hills and then to the north.
Should we wait close to the road or somewhere?
When you say wait, what do you mean? Like, are you guys, you're going to exit the cave and then go up onto land, and then what?
Well, head toward a meeting place, which wasn't designated.
Maybe.
Why are you heading to a meeting place?
Oh, we just need to go to the Thar.
Yeah.
Did Harley explain to you guys what she said to do?
He probably did.
Okay, so Harley explained that the Night Lady said that you guys were going into the Thar. You're not waiting for anything. You were going to find a stronghold. And then once you find it, you're going to send Murmur to tell the reinforcements from Melvaunt to come meet you at that location.
We just need to take a rest somewhere safer in the hills. And then we should head...
Orc brain hurt.
Don't worry, big girl.
Okay, so I need to know, you're once again, you're south of the road that connects Flan and Melvaunt. Are you crossing back over that road into the northwestern parts of the Moonwatch Hills, kind of where you guys met Laszlo?
Yeah, that's our best shot.
Very carefully.
Or are you just going to bypass that and walk along the plains to the west of the Moonwatch Hills to go north?
I'd say go for like the end of the tree line and start heading in from that point.
Okay. So you're going through the Moonwatch Hills, kind of back to where you were to get to the Thar. Yeah. Like you're going to where the tree line is.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You guys travel. Yeah. So you guys travel through the night, basically, and by about almost dawn, you get to the northwestern part of the Moonwash. And assuming that you're just using moonlight and dark vision and not have any torches, someone's kind of leading Angler so he doesn't trip and stumble and fall down a hill. You guys make it to the tree line at dawn. You see the same trees kind of planted in that line, and beyond that you see the Thar, or as far as you could see.
Okay, what about this plan? I will send Murmur about half a mile ahead. Invisibly, of course. And we can take a path of least resistance, you know? If there is some impossible terrain like a bog or something, we can go around. We can find another way. And it's better to know in advance than right at the moment. And we may also find it safer with respect to unwanted visitors, like undead or rabbit animals. What do you think?
Not likely to be a bog or a marsh here. I think you should send Murmur in a circle centered on us to let us know if anything's coming from the front, the sides, or the back.
Well, it's that Murmur is not very fast, you know?
No.
He's speaking to me immediately over the whole continents, but he's very slow to fly.
Gotcha.
And keeping him in roughly one direction would be somewhat better in this regard.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
Okay, so you guys are going to continue straight into the Thar.
And as I said, I will send the Murmur about half a mile ahead just to assess the path we may take.
Well, so the Thar is a vast and endless marshy, intermittent swampland. There are lots of tufts of like swamp brush, bushes, occasionally some swamp trees, but it's very kind of open. And it's very slow going because the terrain, there are no paths. So you're kind of going from like dry area to sort of wet, mucky area. You're slipping in the mud, and like you'll take a step into what looks like solid ground and your boot will go in 2 feet into the muck. So you guys are kind of going through, it's very slow going. The first hour you travel maybe 2 miles. Those of you with proficiency in survival, make a survival check.
13.
17.
Okay, 13. You know that you're going north. You're just going straight north from the Druid's tree line into the Thar. Okay. 17. You know that you're not just going in a straight line. You're kind of dipping and weaving back and forth. You know, northwest, and then you kind of cutting back east, and then north a little more, and then west a little more. Finding patches of traversable dry land. And you travel this way for several more miles until you find like a spot that seems to be relatively dry with a couple trees for shade. All of you are, it's very, you're hot, you're humid, like you're drinking a lot of water. And you guys basically can stop in this spot for lunch.
And rest.
And rest. Do you want to take a short rest? Considering you did not have a long rest the night before.
Sure.
Okay. As you're taking the short rest, you're kind of thinking about what supplies you have, and at this rate, you feel like you're gonna go through your water skin probably by the end of this day. There are also still lots of bugs around. Not swarms, but just, you know, your normal flies and mosquitoes that you would find in a swampy kind of environment. You complete your short rest, have some rations, drink a little bit of water, and then you're ready to kind of set off. Do you want to continue going due north to the best of your ability? Do you want to go northwest, northeast, west, or east?
I want to examine the area around us.
Okay.
Let's maybe go 40 feet to the west and then circle around back to the east.
All right.
So going west and then north and then back around and back to camp.
Okay. And Harley, are you sending Murmur out to kind of fly around and scout while you guys are taking this rest?
Yeah, as we're taking the rest, I'll let him fly around. Just to look at what terrain is ahead of us.
And how far out are you sending him?
About half a mile.
Okay. Ushun, you look around the immediate area. You don't really find anything exceptionally revealing. Like I said, you could go in virtually any direction. West, northwest, north, northeast, east, further into the Thar.
Bill?
Yeah.
On the map, there's a couple of places marked, including the Citadel. Would we know that they are there?
So you can make a history check. So some of those things on that map, you don't know if they're active. You don't know if they were active 200 years ago, because the Thar is not something that like cartographers go and explore and map out on a regular basis. The map that you guys have is sort of like a good guess. It's kind of like, hey, we think that maybe something might be over here or something might be over there. So you don't really know if any of those places are intact, if they're inhabited, by who. But you can, I'll let you make a history check.
And history is 18 plus, where's my mouse cursor? 18 and 0, 18 total.
Okay, so there are a couple settlements, let's call them, that are kind of closer to the border. One of them is Bloody Hands, and the last time you heard, that was infested by goblins and ogres, who would occasionally do raids against people traveling the North Road out of Flan. That's pretty far to the west of where you are, like 25 miles. Closer to where you are is Red Claw's Keep, which at some point in time might have been an orc stronghold, but you had kind of heard rumors that it was abandoned, like that there was no one there. And you guys are about 10 miles away from Red Claw's Keep. It's a little bit northeast of where you currently are. Actually, it's more east and a little bit north of where you are.
All right. Probably thinking we should try and look at that one that I remember as being deserted.
Okay, the one.
People would probably be away from the dragon.
Okay.
That would be my guys, my best guess, guys.
Okay, just point the way and I'll send Murmur ahead of us, just to be sure.
You kind of do. Murmur starts to fly out, miles out. And when Murmur gets about 5 miles away from where you guys are, sort of in the direction of Red Claw's Keep, he tells you that he sees tracks. And he flies down for a closer look, and you see what look like hundreds of footprints that seem to have marched in a sort of the same way that you guys moved, like from one dry spot to another, that seem to have moved southwest, sort of in the direction of Flan. And as you, Harley, are looking through Murmur's eyes, these boot prints don't look like human sized. They look smaller.
Okay, bunch of smaller creatures headed, well, southwest towards the Flan, it seems. And there's many tracks about 5 miles from where we are. Well, I'm not specialist in these matters, but
small, like goblin tracks or something?
Well, smaller than human, definitely. I'm not specialist in these matters, but well, it looks like there was some movement relatively recently. So it's our best shot that we may find something, at least something there.
Yeah.
They're on the move. I think we should go check out those tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Syllar, you're able to know how many went that way and when, right?
If they're like goblins or something, I hate those guys to my core. So I know a fair bit about them.
Should I send Murmur further?
No.
Because we may find something else. Any forces or more tracks.
It's up to you, but it sounds like they sent the goblins out.
Yeah,
goblins are usually infantry, and and they attack first.
Or kobolds. If we are dealing with the dragon, kobolds might be our second best bet.
Okay. Well, I think you should give Murmur a rest. Actually.
Don't worry, he's magical.
All right. Well,
he would tell me.
If you're done resting, say, let's head over to those tracks.
Yeah.
See if there's kobolds or goblins. I hope it's kobolds.
Okay, so you leave your spot. You start making your way. And you get to roughly where you think Murmur found that area. And actually not even roughly, because effectively Murmur can lead you to that area. You get to the area. Go ahead and make a survival check. See what you think of these tracks.
15.
Okay. They're definitely small humanoid boot tracks. Not what you would commonly associate with goblin footprints. At the same time, most kobolds that you know, you're familiar with their foot shape, and kobolds kind of have the three, like a dragon claw, little dragon claw feet that are like three parts. And these don't seem to be that. They're boots. They're definitely boots, but they're small boots, and lots of them. And it looks like these are sort of old tracks, because they're faded, as if maybe rain has kind of covered a lot of them up.
Yeah, these could be the tracks of the armies that went to conquer Flan.
And it looks like it. I mean, you're looking at it at the point where Murmur found it. It looks like it's definitely they're all going in that same direction, southwest, and came from somewhere to the northeast.
Well, Syllar, do you think that there is somewhere that Duergar may be located? Because I'm trying to narrow our, let's say,
our search area.
Variety of possible enemies. And
make a Arcana check.
Okay.
As Harley mentions that, you guys can make an Arcana check.
I'm gonna look around up and down the trail and see if I can find any spore or trash or anything.
All right, give me a moment. What did you get, Harley?
19.
All right, as you yourself are thinking through this Duergar idea, you remember something that may or may not be relevant. You remember that they tend to dwell in darkness and that they are sensitive to sunlight.
Oh, they may be traveling during the night.
Okay. What did the rest of you roll? Did anybody else get a decent roll for Arcana?
No.
I can try.
Okay. Well, Ushun, you said you're looking around as you
for spore or trash.
Yeah, you kind of explore. It doesn't look like they stopped here in the spot where you found the tracks. You don't see any trash or signs of an encampment or anything like that. We're in this spot that Murmur found these tracks.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you guys want to do?
Is Murmur able to somewhat follow those tracks in reverse to the northeast?
You want to send him to do that?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so...
And I let Ushun to lead me, like, I will... I will grab her hand and...
You can send Murmur to do that. And what are you guys doing? Are you just waiting there, like in the bait sun, or what are you doing?
No, we're going.
So you're going to follow the tracks from where they came, from their origin.
Yep.
Yeah, we're going to follow them from where they came from.
Okay. So you send Murmur ahead. How far are you sending Murmur ahead of you guys?
Well, at first about half a mile maybe.
Okay. So you guys start
walking. So
you're following the tracks. You're walking, following these tracks from where they came from. Murmur's a little bit ahead of you. You guys are doing this for like a good hour. Again, drinking water, staying hydrated. And Murmur.
Syllar.
Mm-hmm.
How close are we to that keep?
I'll check my map for a bit. And
well, you could look at the map, but again, remember that you have no idea if the map is accurate, if it's to scale, but it could be within 10 to 20 miles of where you guys are.
It seems like we're heading like to where the keep is.
Theoretically, that's sort of the direction that you guess you're heading, kind of more east and northeast. Would put you towards Red Claws. You're traveling along, it's hot, and Murmur tells you telepathically, because he's a half mile ahead, that he thinks he's found a camp. And you look through his eyes and you see he's circling, only like 60 feet above, but you see this patch of marshy land with intermittent kind of dry islands, I guess. And it looks like the ground has really been roughed up. You see a couple spots where it looks like maybe there were campfires. There's no tents or anything like that, but a lot of tracks in the area that looks like maybe a large group stopped here at some point way back and may have made a camp. And there's garbage, there's, not garbage, but there's evidence that there was some kind of encampment here, maybe some bones, old bones of food, animals and stuff that were eaten. So he tells you that that's kind of up ahead from where you guys are.
All right, let's go.
So you guys kind of continue, and a little while later, it probably takes you like a half an hour to get there, because again, you're kind of going, trudging through this marshy land and trying to find your way. And even the tracks that you're following are not like a straight path, right? They kind of bob and weave. A lot of the plants that are growing here are, swamp plants. They're not a lot of trees. There's only like a couple trees within a half mile. And the other parts are just kind of like sort of swampy, water lilies and some bushes and stuff. And you come to this area that Harley described Murmur having found. And you see, in fact, as you get closer, there are some spots where it looks like encampments were made, where it looks like brush was cleared away, and many people were in this area at some point. Do you want to kind of explore it, search around?
Oh, sure.
I want to check if I recognize there's any of my enemies.
Okay, who are your enemies?
That's the kobolds, orcs, and dwarfs.
Okay, go ahead and I'll make a perception check with advantage, and anyone else who wants to search, go ahead and also make a perception check. Are you guys sticking together, or are you trying to spread out and kind of cover more ground?
I would like to spread out.
The whole space is probably a good 200 feet by 200 feet, where it looks like this group, stopped and had a camp.
Yeah, and as I'm not very perceptive, may I try to investigate?
Sure.
Let's stay in like a 50-foot quadrant at a time.
Okay. So what are your results? What'd you roll, Syllar?
I have a perception of 15.
Okay. So you kind of approach an area. As you are looking, you come across something interesting. You see many boot prints, but you also see some spots where there are kobold footprints, as if maybe they took off their boots when they were in camp.
Mm-hmm.
Not a ton of them, just maybe a few dozen here and there. You know, you kind of go from one little area to another as you're exploring, and you see what you're fairly certain of are kobold footprints. Ushun, what'd you get?
5.
Okay. Angler, what'd you get?
17 perception.
Okay. Angler, while you're exploring, not too far away from Ushun and Syllar, you actually see by one of the campfire areas just a cluster of like bones, like looks like maybe chicken bones. Looks like, you know, they had at some point some fresh meat basically next to one of the campfires that they were eating, and this is discarded bones. You also find some poop piles not far away from the area. Harley, what did you get?
Well, I got investigation 23.
Okay. You, again, not too far away. You guys are staying within 20 or 30 feet of each other. You actually come across something interesting, Harley, on a particularly dry patch of dirt. It looks like this one dry patch of dirt had like a small campfire. You could see some spots where maybe people were sleeping. You see boot prints. You see some clawed footprints. But you also see something that looks like maybe someone was sketching out some sort of map with like a stick in the dirt. And you see like a little square, and then you see kind of a line that goes down from the square, and you see little shapes that look like maybe hills, and then you see another circle next to something that looks like another like line coming to the circle. And it kind of looks like somebody was, you know, almost sketching out a map in the dirt with like a stick. And as you're investigating that, all of you go ahead and make, actually, just tell me what your passive perception is.
10.
9.
Oh, good. Everybody roll initiative.
I have 14 perception.
Yeah, I knew you had a better perception than them, so, but let's all roll initiative, shall we?
12.
12.
16.
12 for Syllar, 12 for Angler.
16 for me.
9.
All right,
Hey, I
so,
like cleanup.
so Harley got 16, Syllar got 12, Angler got 12, and Ushun got a 9.
Put Syllar before me, though.
Okay. Fair enough. As you guys are kind of exploring this, one of the like swampy lily pads near this area where Harley found this in the water, there's like a little ripple of movement. You know how like a frog jumps off of a lily pad and you hear like the water move and there's a little wave? You kind of see that happen. See that, like this little frog jump off from this lily pad into the water, and you see the water ripple a little bit, Harley, about 10 feet away from where you're at.
Incoming! And I prepare. And I prepare to I prepare to hex it when it appears.
Hex what? The frog?
Whatever appears, if it appears.
Nothing.
What?
What happens is literally what I just told you.
Okay, then.
You guys heard
That's
Harley
my
yell.
turn.
You guys heard Harley yell incoming. You look over, you don't see anything.
What?
There was something in the water.
Well, there's a lot of frogs and lizards around here.
Yes, there are.
This was definitely bigger.
Want me to check it out?
I'm going to say that all of you are 30 feet away from Harley right now. So what do you want to do?
I'll move over to Harley.
Yeah, I'll kind of look around behind us.
Yeah,
I don't think there's anything here.
I'll perk up and be more aware of my surroundings with my quarterstaff in hand. And just let my other hand fall to my one of my short swords. And just make ready.
Harley, do you point out where you saw the frog?
You're muted.
Yeah, and the bubbling swamp.
Okay. You guys see like 10 feet away from this dry patch where Harley had found this kind of crude map carved into the dirt. It's swampy, watery area. There's, plants kind of overgrown, thatched and stuff, and then these lily pads. There's barely any movement, like just a little bit of a ripple on the water.
I throw a stone in there.
Okay. You throw the stone in there, and
oh, great. Now the octopus will be summoned.
About 5 feet away, you see a frog kind of come to the surface. And it looks like it's looking right at you guys. And you see it's, when frogs do that thing where their neck thing kind of pops on. It's just kind of like looking at you.
Hey.
I Eldritch Blast it.
No!
You said you do it. Harley has initiative. Go ahead. You Eldritch Blast it. Roll.
Net 1 and 13.
Okay. The 13 hits it. It's dead. The frog, the force from the Eldritch Blast blows the frog apart, and the water kind of like splashes up and ripples around it.
All it wanted was food. You dink.
You just killed the dragon's familiar.
I was surprised. Well, it doesn't matter. Look what I found here. A map.
You guys look at what Harley's gesturing to. And you see, as I described, it looks like somebody, take a stick and kind of carve into the dirt. And there's little symbols. There's like a square, and then the kind of a squiggly line that goes down to some little half circles. And then beyond that, there's another little circle, and then a line that goes to that. You can make a history check.
Any of us?
Sure.
Well, I'm not native, so no.
Aha, 19.
All right.
7.
Ushun, this looks like a map, obviously, but as you're kind of you kind of move around to one side, and to look at it a little closer, you see that you feel like it's oriented in such a way that the square seems to be sort of in the direction where you guys are heading. And the squiggly line coming from the square seems to go towards something that looked like hills, and beyond that to another circle. The other line that comes down towards that circle, you feel like might be the Stojano River, the freshwater river that feeds into Flan. So you kind of are looking at this, and it almost seems like it's a map that shows this group going towards Flan.
Yeah, I figured that, but what I'm interested in is this square and the circle.
Based on what you are thinking, it looks like the circle might be Flan, because what you think is the river goes to Flan. The square might be wherever these guys started from.
Yeah, I was going to say two things. Just take out the map and compare the map I have with the scribbles. And also want to take my take a moment to do a which one was it again? Take my primeval awareness to sense if anyone is within a mile.
Ooh. Specifically, what does primeval awareness show you? I need
the presence, but not the amount or location of aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, undead.
Fantastic. So it takes you a moment to become attuned to that.
Yeah.
And it's within a mile?
Yeah, swamp areas would be a mile for me.
Okay. You
just hold my hand out and sense.
You are doing this, and as you complete that circle, you don't sense any of those forms. However, you do see the water kind of by those swamp lilies burst forward towards you guys. And you see basically these plants come to life, and with these weird sort of like root tentacles, and they sort of reach out towards you guys, which is why I made you roll initiative. Harley, you are first to react. Because you're naturally paranoid, you never assumed that everything was safe. And you kind of, while Syllar was doing this magic thing that he was doing with his ranger magic, you were kind of like, kept looking over your shoulder, and this explosion of water, swamp water, and this plant thing comes out towards you guys. So you are up first.
I try to hex it and hexblade curse it.
Is that an action and a bonus action?
Well, both are technically bonus actions.
Okay,
but,
so
I will do one as an action.
All right. Tell me what that does.
Okay, hex. The hex does plus 1d6 necrotic damage when I hit it, and disadvantage on one ability. So I presume maybe it will grapple us, so strength.
Okay.
And hexblade curse for 1 minute. I gain bonus damage. I score critical hit on roll 19 or 20 and regain 9 hit points if it dies.
Excellent. Okay. You kind of like, you're like, oh, and you just toss off these curses at it as it is kind of coming out towards all of you. Syllar, you are completing this magical sensing, and you're like, the area is cleared. And then this explosive force of plant matter reaches out and starts attacking you guys. What do you do?
I take a swipe with my quarterstaff towards it.
Okay, go ahead.
Reaction, not even bothering if it's within or without outside of reach.
It's within reach. Go ahead.
Let's see. Will be D6. Hang on. 17. That's 22 to hit.
That's a hit. Roll damage.
Let's say 3 and 2, 5 to hit. 5 damage.
Okay. All right. That brings us to Angler.
Pull my rapier and lunge forward for a strike.
Go ahead.
That's a nat 1.
Okay, you're kind of caught off guard. You pull your rapier, you lunge forward, and this plant kind of just maneuvers around. Ushun, you're up.
Okay, I'm approaching it with intent with my halberd. I've got 2 hits. That is a 23
Hit.
And a 19.
2 hits. Roll the damage.
Okay. So whoa, that doesn't count. Now I'm confused. Okay, so that is 9 on the first hit, and 13 on the second hit.
Okay. It swipes out at you guys with these 2 plant spiky roots. 1 hit, 1 miss. And the hit is on Syllar. For 17 points of damage. You are just slammed by this thing. It doesn't knock you to the ground, but it hits you really hard. And then back to Harley.
Okay, what's the distance between me and the plant monster?
5 feet.
Okay, then. I will step back and probably take a attack of opportunity.
Duly noted. Go ahead.
And then I'll Eldritch Blast it.
Okay. You will take 8 points of bludgeoning damage and go ahead and blast it.
Okay. Just one thought. When I'm taking that damage, may I use Hellish Rebuke at that moment? When I'm stepping back.
You mean instead of the
Well, it's a reaction, so
right, but it would still use up your spell slot for that round. So yeah.
I'm just wondering. Well, no, I take the damage and Eldritch Blast it. That's better.
Well, it's up to you. So if you want to do the Hellish Rebuke
I will use my Eldritch Blast. It's better. So it's 16 and 7. It's 23 for the first one.
To hit.
And 19.
Yes.
Plus 7. So it's a bunch, and 19 is a crit for me now.
Yes.
Because of Hexblade Curse. So for the first one, it's that's nice. 24.
Okay.
And for the second one, it's full damage also for the hex, or not?
Yep, it is.
Okay, so it's 6 plus 10, 16, 8, 24, and 7, 31.
Okay, wow. That was huge. Syllar, you're up.
Yeah. I want a bonus cast Hunter's Mark on him.
Okay.
That thing. And then just with my offhand draw my sword and take a swipe, and also swipe with my quarterstaff in the other hand.
Okay.
So short sword first. Ooh, net 20.
Nice.
Or 25. So set my quarterstaff. So that's a full d6. That's 8 plus my d6. 8 and 4, 12 damage.
Okay.
And for my quarterstaff, I have my Hunter's Mark, so there's an extra d6. And another 3 for the Hunter's Mark.
All right. Wow.
And on my quarterstaff swipe, that's a 17 plus 5, 22 to hit.
Yep.
And quarterstaff, that's another d6 plus the d6. 7, 8, 9.
9 more damage.
Yep, for the quarterstaff.
Angler, you're up.
All right. How close am I to Ushun?
Like 10 feet away, maybe?
I'm gonna move 5 feet closer to Ushun.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna take like a swipe with the Psionic Blade instead.
Okay.
21 to hit.
That's a hit.
And I believe since I'm within 5 feet of an enemy of the plant, it's sneak attack.
Yep.
Yes, okay. I'm just making sure.
And you will, this is psychic damage.
Yes.
Okay.
Damage is 21.
21. Wow.
D1.
All right. Ushun, you're up.
I'm going to maneuver around just enough so I can get a flanking, but not with my back to the water.
You are already in a position where you have Ushun and Syllar on one side or on the other side.
Okay, so I have advantage?
No.
No, you don't do that. Okay. All right, so again with the halberd, strike 1, 11.
To hit? Nope.
Okay, strike 2, natural 20.
That's a hit.
So that's 8 plus 10, that's 18 plus 4. 22.
All right. That is another big hit. Okay, I'm going to roll to see who it is going after. 1, 2, 3, Angler. That is a 22 and a 23 to hit, respectively.
That hits.
Okay. So, that is 18 plus 8 is 26 points of bludgeoning damage. And
uncanny dodge the first one.
Okay.
13.
Okay. Now we're going to make an opposed grapple check. So you could choose acrobatics or athletics, whichever you are better in. And it has to make its roll at disadvantage because of Harley's goddamn curse. Good move. Go ahead and roll.
Nat 1.
Are you serious?
For 8, yeah.
No. All right, I rolled horribly because it's at disadvantage, but it still beats that. So you are grappled. And you guys, the way this looks to you guys is this thing, like, just plant life comes and, slams Angler and pulls him in to this swampy body of muck and plants. Like, he literally just gets sucked into it. All right, Harley, it is your turn.
Okay, I will Eldritch Blast it again. I want to free my friend, so hope it's better. Oh, shoot. First one is 12.
Miss.
And the second one is 25.
Yes, hit.
And the damage is 18.
Okay. Syllar.
Yep. Well, it's going to be another couple of swings. So, short, Is there a distance enough between the main body and the tentacles that are grappling him that I could try and slice in between?
Without hitting where you saw Angler go into?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
And I would try and swing my...
It is a large creature, so there's a lot of it plant mass that you can attack.
All right. So I want to try and slice right behind Angler.
Okay.
That's a 14.
Nope, miss.
All right. And then just clobber the main body with my quarterstaff.
Okay.
For a 17.
That's a hit. Damage?
That's a D6. 5 damage. Plus the D6. Plus another 2. It's 7 damage.
Okay. Angler, make a con save.
21. 19 plus 2.
Okay. It's basically trying to suffocate you. You are currently blinded and restrained, but your con save is like you're holding your breath, so you're not taking damage as it's smothering you this round. You can try to escape it if you want to make another escape check.
Is that just a raw strength?
No, it's your choice, acrobatics or athletics.
Okay. 22 to try and get out.
22 succeeds. You guys see Angler like burst out of the plant stuff and like fall into the muck. And that you have escaped. That's the end of your round. Ushun, you're up.
Bonus action, rage.
Okay.
Okay, and here we go. I will take swing number 1. I want to see if... No, I'm not going to try to do that, because if I miss, I'm bad. Okay, so that is a 19.
That's a hit.
And that's 7, 8. And that's slashing. And another 19.
Hit.
And that is 6, 7, 8 slashing.
So 16 total hit points between the two. Okay. It doesn't make any sounds, but it kind of whips around in pain as you guys are attacking it, and it sends out 2 more of these root-like tendrils on Ushun. That would be a 18 and a 22 to hit.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so 2 hits. Total damage is 27, so you take half because you're raged, so you take 13. But you must now make a athletics check.
Oh, I can't do that at all.
Well, remember you have advantage because you're raged.
Yeah, but I just rolled a nat 20 for 27.
Okay, so it cannot succeed in bringing you in like it did against Angler. You just like wrench away from it. All right, back to the top of the order. Harley, you're up.
Okay. Let him go, you bastard. Eldritch Blast. And it's 21 and 21.
2 hits. Tell me the damage.
Okay, first one is 18, the second one is 16.
34 more. Oh. you blow off literal parts of the plant matter, and it's just spinning around in rage. Syllar, your turn.
Yeah, just checking my inventory for a sec. That's not gonna do much. All right. Well, it's back to the sword and cane again. Let's see. It's a sword, dirty 20.
Hit.
7, 8, 9 damage.
Okay.
For my quarterstaff blade, that's a 7.
Nope.
Not to do it.
You miss. Angler, you are in the muck.
I will stand up if I was prone. And I don't know if it's a... I think I have to attack to do it, so I guess we'll just wait for my next turn.
Okay. Ushun, you're up.
All right, I'm going in. I am blasting this thing. I mean, stabbing. That's a 19. That's a hit. Roll this plus 6 is 15. Hit number 1.
15 damage.
And that is not a hit because it's only 10.
Okay. Let's see. Who shall be the victim this round? Oh, Harley. He's decided to pay some attention to you.
Okay.
That is a 19 and a 21 to hit, respectively. So that is going to be 23 points of damage, and you will need to make either an acrobatics or athletics check, whichever you're better at, against his disadvantage grapple check.
Okay. 9.
Okay. Even with disadvantage, his lowest roll was 18. So you are now sucked in by the grapple attack into the body of plant mass. Harley, it is, well, so that was his attack on you. It is now your turn. You need to make a con save.
That's not 20, so it's 22.
You're good. You're holding your breath. You're blinded, restrained. There's no air to breathe, so you're just inside of this thing as it's squeezing you, and you're holding your breath. Okay, Syllar, you're up. You just saw Harley get sucked in.
You're muted at the moment.
Yeah, I noticed. I want to go in on the side that he got pulled into.
Yeah.
And try and hack through some of the brush.
Okay.
To make it easier for him to get out.
All right, sword attack.
It's an 11.
Miss.
That's gonna miss. And then just jab. Well, would you be okay if I just, as I moved my hand with the quarterstaff towards my other sword, just plant the quarterstaff in the ground and draw the other sword and make a slash?
Plant it in the mud and pull your other sword out. Go ahead.
All right, and then take that hit as well. 16.
That will hit.
All right. That's 4, 5, 6.
6 total?
Yeah, I'm trying to easen up the exit for Harley.
You cut another chunk of the plant matter off. Angler.
I'm going to double up on the psionic blades.
Uh-huh.
First swing is a 22.
That's a hit.
Second swing is 11, so just the first one.
Yep, so first one, damage.
5 damage.
Okay. All right, Ushun.
Okay, 2 more. Okay, that is a 7, which is not a hit, or a 10, which is not a hit. This is a 10, which is not a hit.
Okay. It is going. Ooh. 2 attacks. One of them is a nat 20. On Ushun. So that is 16, 25 plus 8 is 33 damage. Fortunately for you, your resistance due to rage makes that only 16 damage. And then, top of the order, Harley, you need to make a con save.
Okay, it's 14.
That is a success, actually, so you don't take any additional damage. Would you like to try to escape?
Yes, please.
Okay, so you can choose acrobatics or athletics. Go ahead and make a roll against his disadvantage grapple check.
5.
Seriously? 5?
5.
Still,
2 and plus 3 for acrobatics.
you're still stuck inside. Okay, but you made that con save, so you're not taking additional damage right now. So back to you, Syllar. You have not seen Harley in 12 seconds now. He's inside of the plant mass.
Yeah, I'm just trying to hack my way to him.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not gonna work on the first hit. It's 10. Second round, 15.
15 will hit. Go ahead.
That's 7, 8, 9 points again.
9 damage. All right, Angler, you're up.
I'll pull my rapier back out and try and hit the most massy part I can.
Okay.
A 9.
9 total?
9 to hit, yeah.
That wasn't a nat 1, was it?
No, it's 2.
Okay. If it was, we'd be rolling another die to see if you accidentally stab your friend inside of the plant. All right, so that brings us to Ushun.
All right, here we go again. Cock dice. Okay, 16.
That's a hit.
Okay, so 10, 12.
12. Okay.
And nat 20.
Nat 20?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's an 8 plus 7, 15 plus 2, 17.
Plus your rage bonus.
Yeah, 2
Okay.
is the rage bonus.
17. You chop off a massive chunk of this thing, and it's whirling around now. Okay, so 2 things. On Ushun, 25 to hit and a 17 to hit.
Both.
Both.
Are these tendrils again?
Yes. So that is 10, 18, 26 damage. So half is 13 for you. And you now need to make a athletics check versus him.
Okay, so that is a 26.
Okay. All right. Back to the top. Harley, make a con save.
Takes.
Uh-oh. It squishes you. You feel your bones crunching. You take 7 more damage. Then we go to Syllar.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not gonna work. All right. Well, keep trying to slash my way towards Harley, as far as I can detect where he is.
Okay, do it.
17. That's
The hit.
22 to hit.
Yep.
Finally, 11, 13 damage.
You you cut through, and it's almost like you must have hit some kind of central part of the root system, because you cut through and the plant matter, like the guts of it, just open up, and all of this like muck and water and plant stuff and Harley just like flop out into the shore of this little land area, and the plant mass just falls back and splashes into the dirty swamp water.
Finally, Harley, there you are. And
Okay, guys, I'm so glad I can see you all.
Yeah, you take a deep breath. You're like, and
Is it dead or did it just retreat?
no, it's just the plant mass is just floating in the swamp water and kind of slowly sinking. It looks like it's dead.
Good.
And
I'll grab Harley and drag him away from the water edge.
okay, so you guys kind of take a moment to recover, and you know it's quiet once again, other than mosquitoes and flies. You don't really hear or see any other disturbances.
Well, I told you it's incoming.
Yeah. So how are you guys doing?
Well,
I'm less than half, but help Harley first.
well, I'm good.
You can help yourself.
I just need a little bit of sitting down.
I don't have my potion anymore.
Are you guys going to be doing any curing or casting of healing spells, or
Yeah.
are you going to take a
Please?
rest? What are you guys going to do?
Yeah, both.
I would give a second level cure wounds to Ushun,
Okay, go ahead and roll.
and that would be 2d8. Where's the other one? There. It's 10 plus 1, that's 11 points to heal.
Thanks.
Okay.
I'm just prestidigitating myself.
How far off are you now, Ushun?
I'm almost up to half.
All right, I'll give you a second round of second level.
Thanks.
That's only 4.
Total?
Yeah, sadly. And I'll give myself a single first level.
I am above half.
Keep track of where you're at.
Which I
More
take
than
for
that,
myself.
Anyone else doing any sort of curative measures?
Short rest.
So
do a medicine check on
if you
anyone.
recall, you guys took a short rest during this day, so you have a choice to make. It's about midday, maybe like 2 in the afternoon. You could decide to take your long rest now, which would finish your long rest at night, or you could travel on as you are while you have sunlight.
I kind of want to travel on because I don't want to be walking around at night.
Yeah.
That's not helpful for Angler to go through this stuff at night.
Indeed.
Sure.
Okay. You gather your things and you continue following the tracks. Harley, how
Yeah.
far ahead are you sending Murmur at this point?
Well, again, like a half mile to mile.
Okay.
So we're going
No,
towards where that
not
scribble-
not very far, but not in the near vicinity of us.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going towards where that scribble in the dirt was seemingly like some other encampment or starting point.
Yeah, and just before we go, I'll scribble that map as best I can.
Yeah, just gonna make marks on my map.
Yeah, okay.
As
I'll
you
try
pull
to-
out your map, it seems like the dirt map almost coincides with your map in terms of the direction in which you think the old Red Claws keep would be located.
All right.
You guys travel again, following the tracks. And the more you're following these tracks, the lighter and more faint they are getting because these are older tracks.
Mm-hmm.
And they have been weathered through, rain and just natural, the sun and stuff. Go ahead and make me another survival check to continue following these.
It will be 14.
Okay. You were able to continue to follow them. At some points, again, after another few hours, you guys come across another area that looks like maybe it was a spot where they stopped. You don't see like the campfires, but you see a lot of boot prints and kobold claw prints kind of spread out in this area as if maybe they stopped. You continue following these tracks and you go a few more hours, and by this time it is about 6 p.m. so the sun is starting to set, and it is at this point that Murmur actually tells you, because he's flying up ahead, he tells you telepathically, he says, "Master, there's a strange fog over this part of the swamp." He's like, I cannot see the ground anymore.
Let me see.
You look through his eyes, and he's about 100 feet in the air. And it looks like he's looking down. He might as well be in the sky looking down above the clouds, because you don't see land anymore. You see a dense fog blanketing the swamp for as far as he could see.
Okay.
In the direction you guys are going in.
Would you dare to travel further, Murmur? Or do you think it's too dangerous for you?
I will do as you bid, Master.
I know, but you are also my friend. I don't want to lose you. Well, we will stay put, and you go a little bit further, and maybe lower to the ground, like, 30 to 50 feet.
So you tell him this. He flies a little bit further, about another half mile in, and kind of goes down closer to the ground and kind of into the fog. And he sort of lands in the fog, and you're looking through his eyes, and he has like maybe 5 feet of visibility in front of him. But he gets down to the ground, and indeed there is swamp.
Strange.
But it's a strange sort of fog.
Can you tell us this?
I cannot see when I am in this fog more than a few feet ahead of me. And then he flies back up and out of the fog.
Just a question. I just want to know if this really obscures his vision, like a fog or like a magical fog, or because I'm trying to assess if Imp's Devil Sight has any relevance here.
It's not a magical darkness.
Okay, so
it's literally a fog.
Yeah. Okay.
10-foot tall and endlessly wide fog that fills the area.
Okay, Murmur. For now, return. We will try to observe it tomorrow.
Okay. He flies back towards you guys.
And I tell what I've seen to everybody. We should stay here for the night. Or
so
maybe
right now, you estimate that you're about a half mile away from where this fog area starts.
there is a strange fog, and I think that it's some kind of protective measure of the dragon.
Yeah, we found the stronghold. I suggest we move back about a mile.
Yeah, we should definitely move back, and maybe I will try to observe more tomorrow.
Oh, hey.
I'll take out my
Better yet.
spyglass and check it out through my spyglass.
You're kind of too far away to get anything detailed, but
Do you see the edge of the cloud, the mist?
kind of. It just looks hazy from where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, better yet, Harley. Send Murmur back to the force waiting for us, and have him lead him here, because we found it. Has all the signs, strange plants, fog. You know.
It's taking some time to get here, so I suppose.
Yeah. So I think we should
Okay.
just send him.
Okay then.
We can expect insects any moment now.
Murmur. Go south, and you will find there probably forces of the Night Lady. Bring them here.
As you wish, Master.
I trust you, my friend.
He heads to the south, towards the Moonwatch Hills. And as the sun is setting, you guys manage to find maybe like another half mile back, a sort of dry area. As you guys kind of sit down, you are tired, you are dirty and sweaty, and you have just a little bit of water left in your water skins. Just a tiny little bit. And you have some rations, but your water is almost gone. And the sun is setting. The sound of bugs and crickets and chirping of the nightlife of the swamp starts to emerge. And that is where we'll end this episode of the Moonsea Adventures. Thank you, as always, for tuning in, for liking, subscribing, and supporting the channel. And we will see you on the next episode. Peace out, everybody.
Well, hello, and welcome to Bill Allen World. I am Wizzy, the Wizard. I'm back once again to remind you to subscribe and click on the notifications button, and also watch videos that are over there. tune in to the next episode of whatever show you were just watching and watch other shows featuring Bill. He made me say that because he's a narcissist. Okay, bye.